Hello everyone from Ali at 11th House, Wales, and welcome to our weekly appointment. So today I'd like to talk a little bit about how our minds shape our inner realities and how to make sure one of the many things that we can do to make sure that this inner reality that we live in is healthy and it is helpful, especially in these times where we feel we haven't got as much control over the external world, over what we can do and the ways that we behave as we used to. We feel that we don't have as much agency, and it's so easy to feel powerless. So I have a list here of automatic thoughts. So these are negative thoughts, and it's part of a questionnaire that was compiled back in 1980 to gauge whether people are depressed. So these are negative thoughts, and it's a list of 30 thoughts which are frequent in people who experience depression. And I'm not going to go through the whole list, but I just want to give you an overview of some of these thoughts just to show you how not just disempowering and negative they are, but also how human they are. So these are things such as, I'm no good. I feel like I'm up against the world. No one understands me. I've let people down. I don't think I can go on. Nothing feels good anymore. I'm so disappointed in myself. What's wrong with me? I hate myself. I can't get things together. I'm worthless. I wish I could just disappear. I'm a failure. I feel so helpless. My life is a mess. I can't finish anything. I'm just not worth it. Something has to change. So really, I think we wouldn't be human if at any point in our life we hadn't thought one of these things. Um, but the thing is, these are, they're very human thoughts, and the problem is that they can be very sneaky. And remember, I mention all the time this negative bias of the brain. And that's why these thoughts are so sneaky. You notice things that reinforce, and in your mind, they prove these thoughts, but you don't see the counter evidence. You don't see it as prominently as you see evidence for these thoughts. So it's very easy to fall into that trap. And then you might experience something happens in your life, and that reinforces that thought. You think, oh, that's why it happened, or that goes to show that I am no good. That goes to show that I'm worthless. And of course, you don't do the same thing with the positive things that happen. So what happens is that this becomes, eventually, it becomes a belief. So it becomes something that you stop questioning. You just take that thought as a fact. And because you take that thought as a fact, you start basing your behavior on that thought. So you start behaving in ways which are founded on this false belief or false conception of life, of yourself, of the world. And in the long term, this impacts not just on your mental health, but on your physical health as well. So the way that the mind works with thoughts, and how your mind encases these thoughts into a belief, into something which becomes part of you and your identity, is two criteria really. It's intensity, how emotionally charged that particular thought is, and frequency, how often do you think that? So this is also the key to getting out of that trap. So you might have heard of this advice. Every time that you have a negative thought, automatically think a positive thought to counter it. Now, if you can't do that, absolutely, please do it. That is brilliant. Yes, if you can do that and believe it, if you can, every time that you think, I'm no good, if you can think, yes, I am good enough, and actually believe that, please do that. But sometimes people say, oh, well, no, actually, I can't. I know that I should challenge the thought and I should produce evidence to counter that and look at that instead. But they say, I don't want to do it because it feels like a lie to me. It feels like I'm doing the Pollyanna thing, and it just it doesn't work for me. So if that is the case, how about you don't take your own word for it? How about you involve someone else? Because funnily enough, it is very hard sometimes for us to say or think good things about ourselves, but then other people do it so easily. And it is the same for us as well. We're very good at complimenting and appreciating other people, but not ourselves. So if you have this thought, for example, let's take this as an example, I'm no good. Well, how about you think of someone who is close to you, someone who loves you, and someone who says and is ready to say all manner of good things about you. So imagine this person saying to you, oh, you are good. You are wonderful. I love you. And I'm so happy that you are in my life. And look at all these wonderful things that you do. Look at how much you have achieved. Look at how much you accomplish every day. And I really admire you. And if you think of someone else saying these things to you, very probably it will ring more true. Just try it and see how it feels, and see the difference that it makes. Um, so every time that you have a negative thought, see if you can do this. Imagine someone, you can have that designate person ready in your mind. So, for example, you think, oh, I'm worthless. And straight away bring in that designated person and have that person say things to you in your mind, saying, oh, you are worthy, you are important, you are loved, you are cherished, you make a difference to me, and you make a difference to other people that you come in touch with. and use this, use that connection you have as well with that person. So we are using the frequency, because every time we have a negative thought, we just stop and bring in the designated person saying good things to us. And we're also using the intensity, because as you imagine this person in your mind telling you these things, you will probably also feel the bond with this person. You will feel the attachment, the affection, the gratitude that you have this person, and this creates the intensity which the mind uses as well. So it really is a matter of understanding how the mind works and using that to your advantage, using that to create a reality, an inner reality, which basically is where you wake up every day and go to sleep every day, is what you inhabit day in, day out. So something, an environment which is helpful, which is healthier for you, for your life, for your outlook, and in turn for the people around you as well, because this really determines the way that you interact with the world. So that's it for me today, and I really hope that you find this helpful. So that's goodbye for me. And goodbye from Edgar as well, who is there relaxing with not a care in the world. And I will see you here next week. Until then, please stay safe and have a wonderful week. Bye. Bye bye.